my power.
Are they about to die? Are they gonna? Whoa! What image Woods Like Games TV back in YouTube video. Today we're acting as Simon the Digger versus Kyle Raynar. This is Gurren Lagann guys versus the White Lantern Death Battle. I don't know anything about these characters, and that's why I love Death Battle, because I get to go through and they tell me everything I need to know, and then I get to make what I think is going to happen up, and then I get to see it, and it's a great watch every time, even if I don't know. So thank you guys for being here. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you're new. Let's get into it. No long intros today, guys. Let's go. Animation looks like it's gonna be dope too. I'm excited.
Simon the Digger.
Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern.
Two men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer infinity.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Let's do this. I'm excited.
Deep underground, Jiha village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave.
That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simon. He was there too, I guess.
Simon was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill.
A key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simon's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann.
With Kamina piloting the body and Simon the head, these two were unstoppable.
That's fire.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest.
Look, it looks like there's a whole head. Look at that. Hold on. It looks like there's a whole head for the body. That's crazy looking.
Fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course...
Drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality.
Yeah.
With Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh,
what?
Wait, shit, was that supposed to happen?
Nope, and it was all Simon's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simon who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Simon who found Lagann, Simon who pierced the surface, and Simon who would now lead humanity to victory.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral...
That looked like the Death Star. Did you see that? Let's go back. Hold on. Look at all these diggers. This is crazy. Okay, hold on. Look at that. It's like an evil Death Star. Reminds me of the death battle between Bowser versus Eggman, where it showed that too. Wonder if they'll have this in the fight. I have no idea what this is right now because obviously I'm just learning. But okay, I just wanted to mention that.
7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have.
Okay,
that's right.
Everything
the laws of
in this universe has to do with digging and spirals and everything like that. That's very interesting. They were very fixated on this drill thing. Look at these shoulders. That is sick. You shoulder check someone and they're done. Oh my gosh.
And runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power. An energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity. The perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Simon would use as he led Team Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets crazy.
Yeah,
channeling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simon can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is...
that reminds me of the regular show, the Baby Ducks episodes versus the Geese, where they started, like, I know that was a reference to something. I don't know if it was a reference to this, but where they started powering up and taking, like, more and more machines. If that's what this was, like riff of or whatever, or what a regular show was, it was based off that. That's kind of crazy. I'm just learning about that now. I don't know if it is, but somebody has to tell me in the comments. You guys know what I'm talking about. Baby Ducks versus the Goose in the regular show.
Is strong enough to shatter space and time.
Wow!
Punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimension.
What?
All within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light.
Whoa!
Oh, well, looks like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history.
That's insane. How does anybody go against that?
Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Oh my gosh.
SpongeBob, you've been dethroned.
That's actually
the guidebooks.
That's actually crazy. That SpongeBob had that with Toon Force. I remember that episode versus the Super Friends, Aquaman or whatever. The fact that that got broken, Toon Force is busted. So the fact that this is higher than that is insane. I'm already obviously biased to this guy because I haven't heard about the other guy. But I don't know how you beat this speed.
Says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes.
That's
you literally
insane.
cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the anti-spiral's greatest trap, the multiverse labyrinth. An attack that imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
Oh my god!
We're just getting started. Imagine a two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person.
Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon, who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simon real, adding another to the mix.
Wait, if every human being has spiral power, you're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simon enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy.
It's already
like
crazy.
Shooting missiles that alter probabilities so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simon's power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown. Or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level. for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, whiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simone evolved one more time.
How?
Into Super Tengen Topa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a
I
drill
don't
somehow even larger than
understand.
that, Simone and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey, cruel indifference of the universe!
Dude.
Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that Simone's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens.
With no more worlds left to conquer, Simone chose to wander the earth for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up. For all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
That's a crazy story. I don't.
The universe is a
don't know. That is the most powerful character I've ever seen. Like, actually, ever. I don't know how anybody can beat that. I'm trying to think. You know, you go to the OP guys like Superman and stuff like that. Would Superman be able to beat somebody like that? I don't think he would. I don't think so. How? This matchup has to be crazy, and this other character has to be nuts. White Lantern? I don't know. Here we go. I don't know how you beat that.
a dangerous
I am
place.
definitely on
Should you
Simon's
find
side.
yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call.
The Green Lantern Corps. They're the Space Fuzz,
I don't
an
know much about
intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him. You love him. You might hate him, but you gotta respect the man with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only one survivor of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet. And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good
Okay.
being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your
the
own.
editorial.
Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient box can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle?
The Green Lantern ring can do anything, fulfilling any wish its user desires as though it were a genie from a lamp.
It lets
Okay, that's pretty nuts. Now, Simon has a lot of, abilities where he can just will it into power, so now I see the correlation that makes sense. But it's like, is this as strong as what the heck we just saw?
you fire energy blasts, create force fields,
It doesn't
affect
seem like it
gravity,
yet.
turn invisible and intangible, manipulate
Okay.
matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Okay,
Think we're
that's
exaggerating? Well, consider the
Look at that list of things. Protective aura, flight, galactic oh my. Look at that. Resistance to poison, entropy, antimatter, reality warping. So all of that stuff, it's not going to affect the Lantern. He can construct all of these mecha, right? Mythical creatures, animals, vehicles, projectile weapons, melee weapons, exoskeletons. So gravity manipulation, matter manipulation, age, time travel, time, intangibility. Yeah, so this guy's got a lot too. Okay.
time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. and the rings have an artificial
the same as the other guy.
Intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Boozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
Well, Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the core.
Imagination, I feel like, is huge. I don't think that was a key. It's got to be something that they can imagine. But if he's going up against something he doesn't understand or something, I feel like that might be able to throw him off.
Kyle's imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
Yeah, but the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots.
Yep,
hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, what? 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So
that is huge.
Can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone.
That's
Never
crazy.
mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although, I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness was Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when
it's like a willpower thing, just like the other guy. So he's talking about self-doubt and stuff. It's going to be a willpower thing, I feel like. We got to see how this guy's mental state is.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this Torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the...
Look, it has it all right here. Okay. It's gonna tell me, I'm sure. Control over life, resurrection, clairvoyance, astral communication, life equation, mathematical source of life, indigo lantern, portals, compassion manipulation, controlling other people's emotions. And if he can control his willpower, that can really halt Simon.
Worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their soul.
That is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm. Which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others.
The final one was the sapphire light of love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds.
Like
but Kyle only
world
mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a white lantern with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead. The white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation.
That's...
The anti-monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the source and acquired the life equation.
What is
Essentially
this?
the source code to
The
reality.
Matrix.
The life equation is mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality.
He defeated Wonder Woman, Parallax, Amazo, Oblivion, but it says he like was a threat to Darkseid. He didn't defeat Darkseid. So
originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
Hard.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
All right, so here's the thing, right? Like, we have this guy, Simon, can do all of that on his own. Like, he didn't need anybody's help. They made it a point to say he didn't need another operator. He didn't need anything like that. And the White Lantern had to split off the power because it was too much for him to be able to take down the villain. Another key thing is the charge, 24-hour charge. Other guy didn't need that. Other guy can will things, Simon can will things. Just like, I feel like Simon has so much more above him with that instant shot to the multiverse thing. They both have a lot of speed, right? And can do crazy things like that. But he didn't even beat Darkseid, it said, right? So I feel like them bringing that up, I feel like I'm going to give it to Simon the Digger. Final answer. Come on, Simon. Come on.
All right, the combatants are set.
Simon.
We've run the data through
Please!
all the possibilities.
I can't lose.
It's time for a
I've been on a roll with these, guys. All right. We've been waiting. Come on, Simon. Oh my gosh, we're starting fast.
All right. I'm not rusty at all.
That's funny. Uh-oh.
Hey, dude. Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here.
Look at the
Flynn
hand-drawn
says you've got a
animation.
Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
A little more than that. Look at him
Lagann's
spinning
mine,
it.
officer. Who the hell do you think you are?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Yes, the a dragon.
Bad with authority.
Okay. Headbutt's clean.
Tell me
Okay, that was
about
fast.
4.
That's funny. Hey! Let's go. I'm not rooting for you though. Oh man. Wow.
That's nothing. My drill will pierce the heavens.
It did. Whoa, look at the animation switch.
Take it to for Gurren Lagann.
Okay, he's already powering up. Look at that. Oh my gosh. All right, he's already in White Lantern form. Here we go. Okay, that was sick. It was cool.
Lantern. We do the impossible.
Oh
See
my
the
god.
invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
Wonder Woman
You
shield.
ain't know?
Now you know.
Lasers. Okay. Oh, damn. Wait, look, he hit him. Yes. Come on. Yes. This is crazy.
The digger. If there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it.
Yes. Come on! Whoa! Okay, that's everything he's got!
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death.
That's what I'm saying!
Friends.
Your willpower!
Me.
Yes!
For the future.
Yes!
Choose life.
Come on, Simon!
Have faith in the Simon.
Yes!
That believes in you.
Yes! Lock in! Yes! Mess him up! Oh!
It's the drill that will transcend the heavens.
Yes! Yes! Oh my God! How do you stop that? There's no way he's smiling. What? There's... Whoa! The music! They just got spat out.
It wasn't your mech. It was me. Then, Simon, I'm taking you in.
Oh.
In brightest day.
Oh.
In blackest night.
Oh.
No evil shall escape my sight.
There's no way they're gonna tie
Let
right now.
those who
Whoa!
Evil's might. Beware my power.
Are they about to die? Are they gonna? Whoa! Are they gonna kill each other? He won! Yes! Yes! That's what I'm talking about! Yes!
You'd make a good lantern.
Oh, mess him up!
Simon
Wait.
Earth, you have been chosen.
What?
Just who the hell do you think I am?
That's fire, bro!
Snazzy sunglasses.
When both combatants possess unlimited power, it's hard to judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Simone can hit an infinite
Come
number of targets all
on,
at
let's
once,
go!
and Kyle can fly fast enough
Simone,
to
I
surpass
keep
the
calling him
normal
Simon.
concept of speed itself.
When you control space
know the
and
comments are
time,
gonna rip
things
me a new
like
one.
strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Exactly.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simone and
Right,
Kyle.
right.
Their imagination, their willpower,
That's,
and their ultimate
that's
potential.
what I was saying.
Imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time, anything.
Simone did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
forgot
likely
about
Kyle
that
could
one.
adapt, considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
True,
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simone's arsenal,
True.
which was mostly
True.
drills.
It's
Though
just
again,
drills, yeah.
nothing Simone couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption.
Right.
Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other
it
main
is a
factor for
draw.
both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And
Yes,
that's really
I'm
gonna
telling
be the
you.
winning factor here.
I
since
knew
it's
it.
the source of everything.
Come
for
on!
Whoever's got the stronger willpower.
I knew
wins.
it.
Both can manipulate reality on a
I called
multiversal
that.
scale with their willpower,
Yes.
but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond
That
the pale
was
as
so
Simone and Kyle.
fire.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's
Okay.
1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
And
Oh,
remember, each numbered dimension
really?
infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level.
Oh, it
However,
was.
that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge.
I was
because
gonna
if there's
say.
one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
Right.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Simone's whole deal with
Oh,
spiral
wow.
power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger.
Right.
So just because Simone starts off
Exactly.
weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the
Exactly.
multiverse labyrinth required Simone to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant.
See, that is
Simone made
insanity.
himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to
Insane.
close the gap with Kyle.
Yeah.
Especially since
Yeah.
spiral power also lets him regenerate his body down to
Yep.
an informational level.
That's-
Kyle's
yes.
never destroyed something that
Yes.
thoroughly before.
Yes.
Without the ability
Exactly.
to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge. Especially since Simone could likely regenerate
Guys, I'm getting too good at this. Can we just acknowledge how everything they're saying I called out? This is crazy.
For at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simone has.
Yeah. And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Everything, that is, except for the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Then
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him to relinquish
everything I said. I got it right. This guy, this is, yo.
To keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simone, who merged with a version of himself, writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's. Isn't that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway?
It makes a lot of sense.
That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simone's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simone the Digger.
That's awesome. All right, I want to see who's next.
Death battle.
Tom and Jerry? Is that who's next? Oh, wait, no. Wait, yeah. What? Tom and Jerry. Oh, and Wile E. Coyote?
Subscribe and join as a member.
Tom the Cat. That'll be a fun one. I love Toon Force stuff. That's pretty cool. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Guys, I'm killing it, man. I'm getting the predictions like crazy. So if you want to see me react to more death battles, let me know which ones down in the comment below. I love doing these, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces!